Good morning, my dear student. I'm Dr. Kiran Ramrao Bodkar. Now today I'm going to discuss about the Pila globosa. So about this Pila globosa, now today I will discuss about the habit and habitat of Pila globosa and external features of Pila globosa. So we see here habit and habitat of Pila globosa. The Pila globosa is one of the largest freshwater mollusks. It is commonly found in freshwater ponds, pools, tank, lake and marshes, rice field and sometimes even in a streams and river. They occur in those areas where there is a large amount of aquatic vegetation like Vallisneria pistia for food. They are amphibious, being adapted for life in water and on land. The animal creeps very slowly by its ventral muscular foot, covering about 5 centimeters per minute. And the movement of animal is like a gliding movement of planaria. And during the rainy season, Pila come out of the pond and makes long terrestrial tours, thus respiring air directly. It can overcome long period of drought in a dormant condition and buried in the mud. This period of inactivity is called as a aestivations or it is also called as a summer sleep. Okay. Now we see here about the external features. Okay. So about these external features, first of all, we see here shell of Pila. Look at this. This one is the shell. Okay. So the shell of Pila globosa, as in other gastropod, is a univalve but coiled around a central axis. Look at this in a right-handed spiral. The top of the shell is the apex, which is formed first, and growth of the shell takes place from it. The apex contains the smallest and the oldest walls. Below the apex is a spire consisting of several successively larger walls or coil, followed by penultimate walls and largest walls or body walls which encloses most of the body. The lines between the walls are called as sutures. Okay, this line between these walls is called as a sutures. Look at this. And mm, is called as sutures. And below the apex is a spiral consisting several successfully larger walls uh, or coils followed by penultimate walls and the largest walls or body walls which enclose most of the body. Okay. And these lines of the walls are called sutures and internally all walls of the shell are freely communicate with each other. Such a shell is called as a unilocular and the body walls has a large mouth or opening. Okay, look at this large mouth or opening and the margin of the mouth are called as a peristome from which the head and foot of the living animal can protrude. When viewed from the ventral sides, look at this. Okay, viewed from the ventral side with the peristome facing the observer. Mouth lies to the right of the columella. Okay, right of the columella. and shell is spirally clockwise. Then it is broken off as being right-handed or dextral. The outer margin of the mouth is called outer lip. Okay, look at this. This outer margin of the mouth is called as the outer uh, outer lip, and the inner margin as inner or called as a columnar lip. Okay. This columnar is also called as the inner lips. In the center of the sail runs a vertical axis or columella around which walls of the shell or coil. The columella is hollow and its opening to the exterior is known as a umbilicus. Look at this. Okay, umbilicus. Shells with an umbilicus or umbilicate or perforate. The lines of growth of shell are visible. Some of them appear as ridges known as varices. The shell of Pila globosa varies in color from yellowish to brown, even blackish also. This is about the shell of Pila. Now is about the operculum. Okay, here present this operculum. Fitting into the mouth of the shell is calcareous operculum. Its outer surface shows a number of rings of growth around a nucleus. The inner surface has elliptical balls for attachment of muscles, and the boss is cream color and is surrounded by groove. The operculum is in fact secreted by the glandular shell of food. If we see the microscopic structure of this cell at that time, the shell of the Pila globosa consists of outer pigmented layer, and that outer pigmented layer is called as a periosteum of horny organic conchisaline. Below this is a prismatic layer made up of crystalline calcareous plate running vertically, and the innermost nacreous layer is made up of calcareous plates running longitudinally. Shells of gastropoda display an infinite variety of shapes, sculpturing, pattern, and colors. Inside the sail is a mantle um, which secrete the cells. Okay. Now we see the body of Pila. Okay. We see the body of Pila. Look at the body of Pila consists of head, foot, visceral mass, and mantle. In expanded animals, look at this. In expanded animal, the head and the foot come out of the shell mouth. Look at this. This head and foot come out from the shell. Okay. And but the visceral mass lies inside the shell. Okay. A columnar muscles arise from foot and is inserted in the columella. Attach the body to the shell, and it withdraws the animal inside the closes the operculum. So I just tell you about this head. Look at this head. Okay, look at this. This one is the head. Okay, so there is a distinct head produced into the snout. The head bears two pair of the tentacle. Look at this. This is one pair, and this is another. This is another pair. Okay. So the two pairs of tentacles, and the first pair of tentacle or labial pulp or small and lies in front. Look at this, this first pair and lies in front. Behind them there is a second pair. This is tentacle which are long. And the tentacles are hollow and capable of much extension and behind extension and contractions. Behind the tentacle, the head has pair of eyes. Look at this pair of eyes. This is and this one is the pair of eyes and pair of eyes born on stalk or amatophore. Now we see about this foot. Look at this. One is the foot. The sole of foot. Okay. So below the head is a large muscular foot. Large muscular foot. Its lower surface is gray and flattened sole. It is triangular with apex pointed backward. It is used for creeping. Its upper surface is spotted and dorsal posterior surface bear the operculum. When the foot is withdrawn, the operculum closes the mouth of the sail. In the foot, it is pedal mucus gland, which forms a slimy trail during the locomotion. Waves of contractions which sweep from anterior to the posterior end of the foot provide the main power for locomotion. In fact, the head and foot together constitute head-foot complex. Okay, constitute head-foot complex and which is connected to the visceral mass by inconspicuous neck. Okay. Now about this visceral mass. Okay, look at this visceral mass. Above the head foot complex is a visceral mass containing the main organ. It fills all walls of the shell and it is spirally coiled like a shell. The visceral mass exhibit the phenomena of torsion, which is distinct from coiling. It is soft and gray to dark brown in color. Okay. And next one is the mantle. Okay. So the mantle also referred to as a pallium. Mantle is also referred to as a pallium. Okay. Look at this in this picture. You can see here. This one is the mantle. Okay. So the mantle also refer as pallium and cover the visceral mass. Look at this. And is formed as a hood over the animal when it is withdrawn. The edge of the mantle is thick and contains shale gland, which secrete the shale. Above the thickened edge, there is a supramarginal grooves. The mantle also two fleshy lobes called nuchal lobe or pseudopodia. Called nuchal lobe. Look at this. Right and left pseudopodia. So the mantle also has a fleshy lobes called nuchal lobes, or it is also called as a pseudopodia, which are joined on either side of the head. Okay. The left pseudopodium forms a long tubular respiratory siphon. Uh, Long tubular respiratory siphon for aerial respiration and respiratory current enter through it. The right pseudopodium, look at this. The right pseudopodium is a less developed and not a regular tube. Respiratory current passes out. Okay, this is about the mantle. Now we see here about this mantle cavity and aerial complex. So the anterior part, there is a large space between the mantle and body. Okay, between the mantle and body, there is a large space. And this is the mantle or pallial cavity, which has been shifted to the front by process of torsion. It includes a number of organs and the head and can be withdrawn. It. Okay, look at this. It means that you can see here the mantle or parietal cavity includes within its number of important organ and which is collectively known as parietal complex. Near the right pseudopodium is a prominent ridges or epitania. Look at this. Epitania, which run backward up to the end of the mantle cavity. It divides the mantle cavity into the right branchial cavity and left pulmonary sac. Look at this pulmonary sac. And in the branchial cavity or chamber lie single gills or uh, tinnidium. Look at this. Okay. Branchial cavity chamber lies single gills or tinnidium. Rectum. Look at this. Rectum and anus. Hmm. And the genital aperture and anterior chamber of the kidney as a reddish mass near the posterior end of the epithelium. Near the left pseudopodium is a fleshy osphradium. Okay, fleshy osphradium, a typically molluscan sense organ. This is about the pallial complex and mantle cavity. Now, I tell you about the coelom of Pila globosa. You know that. What is coelom? Coelom is the cavity or space of the body. So coelom is reduced to unpaired cavity of pericardium, kidney and gonad. And the renal and pericardial cavity communicates, but the cavity of gonad is unconnected. And the visceral organs are surrounded by means of a sinus or spaces containing blood. And these blood-filled space constitute the hemocoel. This is all about the Pila globosa. Okay. Um, we see here is seen here external features and habitat of the Pila globosa. Thank you so much.